Please watch till the end of the video to know about this interesting movie based on a true story. The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind 2019 113 minutes British drama film of William Kamkwamba, who along with Bryan Mealer wrote the book with the same title. The story is about a schoolboy named William Kamkwamba despite being banned from attending the school because his parents could not afford to pay his school fees, and how his invention using wind's kinetic energy saves his dying village. Please like this video now so that this video reaches other people's screen too. Thank you. The movie starts with villagers celebrating probably around harvesting time, walking across the green field full of wheat. The next scene shifts to the year 2001 in Malawi, and a man named John has died in this field while plucking the corn. During his cremation, we will see as William Kamkwamba, played by Maxwell Simba, a young schoolboy who comes from a family of farmers living in the nearby village of Wimbe at Kasungu's district. Will has parents, an elder sister, and an infant sibling. The Kachikolo school that Will goes to has a science teacher named Mike Kachigunda who likes William's elder sister Annie Kamwamba, played by Lily Banda. As the principal of the school is addressing Will and other schoolmates, telling them to excel in studies and go to university like their seniors, he trains heavily, making them run inside the school. After the class, Will hands over an envelope from his sister to teacher Kachigunda for a university placement. The teacher then tells Will if his father does not pay the school fees, then William won't be allowed to attend school. Will is seen along with his friend, the village chief's son, searching through the local junkyard for reusable electronic components. Will is a genius in fixing radios for his friends and neighbors. He also helps his family around the house fixing the roof. As the rain delayed the tobacco harvesting, the state agency gave the plantation contract to another city, Mozambique, which had plenty of water. The agency then tells the village chief and the farmers to accept the money offer, which was actually very less, again selling the land full of trees for tobacco plantation. The trees protected Will's village from flood and famines. If the trees are cut, then Will's village will not be able to grow crops in their famine-stricken land and their survival will become more difficult. The state knew the villagers would need money to survive when their crop business failed. Will's father, Tribal Kamwamba, played by the movie director Chiwetel Ejiofor, tries to talk out Jeremiah, whose father John died in the cornfield due to hunger. Jeremiah and few villagers ended up accepting the offer to cut down the trees. Amidst the financial crisis, Will's parents surprise him with a new school uniform from the money they saved little by little, and Will gets thrilled to wear the uniform. You can really understand the financial condition of Will's family, who make their ends meet by sharing the food among the children first and keeping the leftover for themselves. Will tries to catch the birds using a trap filled with corn, and then he sees the forest being cut. Meanwhile, the bird he catches takes it to the group of boys who were listening to the radio for a sports match result. As the radio battery dies, and when the boys don't have enough money to buy a battery for the radio, Will helps to supply remaining power from the used battery and becomes a hero for the boys who are thrilled to listen to the sports commentary again. In the dark, with the help of the light system in the cycle, Mike Kachigunda rode to see Annie, Will's elder sister, but Will sees them making out. Will wanted to remove the light from his cycle, without which Mike won't be able to ride in the dark and hence would not be able to travel to his village to meet his sister. He, along with his friend, in the attempt to take out the light system from his teacher's cycle, here he wants to learn about the mechanism existing behind the bulb to light up only when the pedal moves. The next day, the principal tells Will to continue the school only when his school fees are paid. Even after heavy rain, Will's father still tries to plow in the land, but the land is too marshy for the crop's production. So Will and his father meet Daniel, Will's father's friend, but he also does not help funding for his business idea. After the famines, the land of Kasungu dries up, not being suitable to grow crops. And when the father learns that the president is visiting his village along with the reporters, he suggests the village chief to speak up about the current situation. Here, Will has an idea to fix a water pump using dead batteries after getting them charged from a power source. After being banned from attending school due to his parents' inability to pay his tuition fees, William blackmails his science teacher with the knowledge about the secret relationship the teacher carries with William's sister. In turn, he is allowed to attend his class and have access to the school's library, where he learns about electrical engineering and dynamo. The teacher then explains to the librarian that though Will is not allowed to attend school, he is allowed to work with the teacher for his project. With the help of the librarian, Will is able to find books on magnet and electricity. During the gathering, the speech made by the chief related to Kasungo's triumph situation agitated the president, and using his men, he hurt the chief. Will, his father, and chief's son rescue the chief from the men The chief survives and is taken to Will's house, but he is badly hurt and requires a few weeks to recover. Here, Will's father and his family, after collecting the remaining corn from the field, knowing that the supply won't be sufficient to survive with till the next harvest, they scrap the roof's metal sheets to sell at the market for buying grain. Due to inflation arising due to more demand than the supply, the grains are being sold off at a price 5 times higher than its original cost. Seeing this, the father is forced to join the protest, leaving the family at the market. Here, William, after being noticed by the principal who comes as a proxy teacher in place of Mike Kachigunda, to teach science, boycotts William to study further. As the crops fail due to drought and the resulting famine devastates William's village, leading to riots over government rationing. The farmers run towards the truck loaded with the grain to buy. William rushes in his father's cycle with money handed to him by his mother. On the way, the father sees the gruesome sight of men killing each other over food scarcity and gets worried of his family's security. So he heads back to his village. Meanwhile, an unidentified man approaches Will's mother holding the infant baby and her elder daughter, give him food as he has not eaten for days, and the man and few others end up snatching the remaining powdered corn from the family, leaving them nothing now to survive. Will reaches the ration place and sees the security pushing away the people who have also come for the ration. But with a bunch of villagers and Will, who are close to the office door, manage to get inside the ration office. He is given the token to buy only 15 kg ration and sits with his purchase inside the office locked from the inside to keep the villagers from entering inside. After the commotion settles, Will reaches home with the supply, but this too is not enough to survive. Will is stopped by his father to not feed the dog when the family has so little food to share. People soon begin abandoning the village. Will requests his sister to get the light mechanism from the teacher to build a windmill to power an electric water pump that he had found at the junkyard earlier. Will's family is shocked and devastated when they find Will's elder sister elopes with his former teacher in order to leave her family so that the family has one less mouth to feed. But the elder sister, before leaving, retrieves the light mechanism from the teacher's cycle for Will to find it in a room. Will's parent and Will meet the school principal, asking him to help them with the teacher's address and some money to get Annie back. At last, the principal, unable to help the family, Will, on his request, is given the battery and the school library's book on dynamo. Seeking to save his village from the famine and drought, William succeeds in building a working prototype which ends up generating electricity supply enough to turn on the radio without the need of the battery. In order to build a larger windmill, William asks his father Triwell to give the family bicycle parts. The father refuses and lashes out, saying that this is the only bicycle in the village and the family owns. He believes that Will's idea is a waste and destroys the prototype. Will urges the older boys not to give up, making them believe that he needs their help to get his father's cycle. He does not succeed as the father draws them away. When Will's family find their ways to sustain and survive becoming difficult, William's mother Agnes, played by Ayesha Maiga, urges Will's father to reconsider Will's proposal as this will be anyways their last chance to survive. William and his father reconcile after William buries his dog that died of starvation. With the help of his father's cycle parts, his friends, and the few remaining members of the village, Will is able to build a wind turbine. When the wind turbine starts to function, using the charged battery, the motor pump then helps water to supply from the well into the field, which leads to sow crops successfully. He makes 3 more of it and the village has plenty of crops to produce and live more peacefully. This moment made Will's father proud and gave him and the villagers a reason to bring the smile back. The movie ends showing the real William Kamkwamba and that the news of his invention spreads and he is awarded a scholarship to attend school and then receiving a degree from Dartmouth College. Parents still live in the village of Wembe. The sister married to her teacher Mike Kachikunda has 4 children and often visits the parents. Will also goes to write the book with the same title and gets famous all over the world. Despite being the best movie, there was an expectation towards a movie to win an Oscar award. But it's saddening that the movie did not even get nominated for the award. However, this movie is a must-see. The movie ends here. For more storytelling videos, subscribe to the Moody channel. Thanks for watching.